YouTuber who's leading the way. Yeah. He's got a passion for all things nerdy. Dungeons and Dragons, his world's not blurry. From comics to movies, he's got it all. He's an outpost nerd living in a geeky world with his lightsaber shining. He's a Star Wars swirl through galaxies and adventures. He'll take you there, take you there. He's an outpost nerd, no one can compare. Nerd power. Yeah, he's the king of nerds, catching that flare.
Hey everybody, welcome to another transmission from the Outpost Nerd. Short notice, but it's been a week, and I need to get on here and scream to the void. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta vent, First Christmas break in the school system was, wasn't that chaotic, but it was a little more than usual. And I've been wanting to talk about some things. I want to know some things. I want answers, and no one has ever been able to answer this for me. Why is it that some people are allowed to... Why are they allowed to speak their minds, to have an opinion? And I wish there's a certain person I wish was here to, because they can share their beliefs, they can disagree, but then there are others who, as I've been told, meant to go about their lives with their mouth shut, heads down, and do what they're told. And you know what? I refuse to be the second part in the second group. I refuse to be the one who goes with everyone else's ways of thinking. I call this the Outpost Nerd because a lot of my views on culture are not mainstream. I tend to think outside the box when it comes to things. I don't go A, B, C. My mind goes this way. A1, A1, A2, A3, B, B2. I don't think in a straight line like a lot of people. And that has been used to attack me over and over and over again. There have been so many times where I felt that I have found my place. I found that would care for me and be there for me. I have thought I have found those places, and when I find those groups, I tend to be there for people. I tend to go out of my way to be there for them because I know how it feels when you're alone. I know how it feels to be disregarded, to be thrown away like trash, even after you do so much for people. And you know what? People have looked at me and said, "Oh, you've had a bad attitude." But I had a friend point out something to somebody who said that about me. No, I don't have a bad attitude until you wrong me. I have been there so much for people, sacrificed so much for people, and I get ghosted in return. And you know what? It sends me to the worst case scenario. It's like, what did I do to deserve that? But what is ghosting? Ghosting is abruptly ending communication with someone without explanation. This concept most often refers to romantic relationships, but can also describe disappearances of friendships in the workplace. People respond to being ghosted in many ways, from feeling indifferent to deeply betrayed. I tend to fall in that second category. Some believe that ghosting is it's inseparably intertwined with modern electronic communication, and the practice is a way to cope with the decision fatigue that can also can accompany dating. Others believe that ghosting is emotionally troubling given that it causes no sense of closure. Closure is, I've dealt with the lack of closure in my professional life and in my personal life. It's like it's like living here in Florida, like every state, it turns out every state but Montana is an at-will state. God, I need to move to Montana then. That means that within a 90-day, you have as an employee, you have a 90-day probationary period that the manager or person in charge can fire you for anything without explanation, without any warning, which I feel is deeply unfair, deeply a disgusting practice because it creates a stagnant workforce with no room for improvement because you are given no reason why. You're given sorry, you're given no reason why and no room for improvement, no reason of knowing, so you cannot improve. What does that do? That just leaves you open for making the same mistake next time. It's the same thing as being ghosted in a relationship, be it romantic or a friendship. How to handle being ghosted. The phenomenon of abruptly disappearing from people's lives isn't new, but it seems to be more common today. It's more common today because we have this faceless relationship. Like, how many of us on here could walk past each other down the street and never know it was the other person, even though we share so much of our lives on here? Technology has made ghosting an easy way to dissolve relationships. According to a 2018 study, approximately 20% of men and women reporting having been ghosted in a romantic relationship, and 22% admitted to having ghosted someone else. The Federal Reserve, I don't even know why, even recognized the phenomenon in a 2018 report in which employers reported being ghosted by employees in a tight labor market. Why was I ghosted? The reason for being ghosted often has to do a lot with the ghoster rather than the ghostee. Cutting off communication spares the individual from communication, taking responsibility, or engaging in the emotional labor of empathy. Despite the benefit a conversation can provide, in effect, it is more convenient to vanish. Exactly. It is more convenient just to. It's less work just to vanish. It's easier than actually dealing with the things. It it allows for a person to cut other people out without the guilt. That's what the social media has done. It has allowed us to be a society without guilt or shame. Hey, Shelly. How's it going? Hope you're having a good Christmas up there. I'm just having a rough time and needed to come out and vent. So did this little impromptu stream. Thanks for being here. Why do I feel so bad about being ghosted? Is the next section. Being ghosted feels confusing because you don't know if the relationship is really over or if there is a different reason for the person's absence. You may worry that something terrible has befallen the person. When you do realize the relationship is over, you have no idea what happened or what you did wrong. You feel that you are to blame. That what's the word I'm looking for? Can't. That uncertainty is what drives me crazy. That and like I said, it's that way in my personal and professional life. It's like last summer I went to probably 3 or 4 dozen interviews for jobs. And I only learned I'm just not much, just I've just really just started reading this. It's a real interesting article from Psychology Today about ghosting, and I've had discussions with people when I was back in college about ghosting, and it's weird that people don't see anything wrong with this. I feel like my thing is be upfront with me. I will have more respect for you if you're upfront with me. You know, and I try to be that way with other people, but sometimes I fail, and it hurts. I do things without meaning to that hurt people that I love, and I just don't. I don't understand. Maybe since you're here, Shelly, I offered a question at the start that I have always wondered about that no one has been able to give me an answer that I understand. Why are some people who are allowed to share their views, to to speak their beliefs, but as I was told that I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to go about with my head down, mouth shut, and do what I'm told through my life. I've literally had those same words said to me by someone who should never have said those, have ever felt that way, and he still does. Just tonight, I was sitting there talking to my niece, and being the dork that I am, I asked her, I said, what time? I asked her what time it was. She couldn't tell me because the only clock nearby was the clock on the oven. And mom's baking her carrot cake for Christmas, which, oh, it's going to be so good. She makes amazing carrot cakes. So I went to the other room and I said, it's 7:15. So I asked her, I said, what time is that? If it's 7:15, what time is that? She heard quarter and, of course, thought 25. And I tried to explain to her what, with 60, what's a quarter of 60. The little butt went into the other room and looked at the time instead of doing the math. Can't fault her for working a system like that. And I jokingly, oh, you butt, you little stinker. And my folks jumped down my throat. Don't talk to her like that. I'm like, I wasn't talking to her in any bad way. But every time I try to correct her or try to goof off with her, try to have fun with her, they jump down my throat. Like, we play fight, she's 10, gonna turn 11 next month. And I don't know how else I can be there for her. But I'm meant to go do what they feel I should do. I'm supposed to be the uncle other people think I'm supposed to be. I want to be the goofy, fun uncle who uses, the fun to teach, but I'm not allowed to. But I get threatened to be kicked out. I get threatened with homelessness every time I disagree with them. And I'm trying to get out on my own. It's hard for me. I can't find a roommate. I'm all over the place. I'm stuck. I have this job that I'm really loving, but being in an at-will state, it has me thinking every day, this could be my last day. If I step out or do something a kid doesn't like, I'm done. And it's stressful. People keep telling me, oh, the way things are, you're staying, you're gonna be staying the rest of the year. Okay. I've never gotten to that point. I hope you're right. I'm tired being alone. I'm tired of not. You know what? Being alone is so intoxicating, so addicting, because you don't have the risk of being hurt. I have been hurt so much that sometimes I don't realize when I'm hurting, others. I I want to be there for some people because I don't want this pain on anyone else. I wouldn't wish this feeling, this weight, this pain on any my worst enemy. I oh, there you go. I had my headset muted for a second. I try to have fun with people. I try to have fun with people. I try. I want it to stop, Shelly. I do. I. Not knowing is the worst. And I'm doing it. You know, I have really good. I have a few really good teachers, Shelly. I had one teacher. Hold on a sec. Oh, oh, I forget. I forget when I have one of the on my headset. When I put my microphone up, it mutes it, and I keep forgetting to put it down. But I have some really good teachers that I work with, and the other teaching assistant I work with is our union rep, and so she's always there to help me, to direct me to who I need to talk to and do what I need to do. Um, Finally was able to sign up for the union, so I'll be getting help through that. And I never had someone in my corner like her, and I told her that. I let these people know. I let the teacher know. I told her, I said, I don't think I'll ever forget what you said. Thanks for being here, Shenny, right? Shenny Graham. Yeah, Shelly's good at bringing people in, and Shelly's great. You will learn. Shelly's one of the good ones. You'll learn a lot from listening to her. She does great streams and has an amazing life story. Oh, I got it right. Sweet. But let me get back to this article because I think ghosting is something that's not addressed nearly as much. Let's see. Here's the question. Next question is, should I contact the person who ghosted me? This likely depends on the duration of the relationship. If the person did not text you after your second or third date, okay, this is getting into the relationship. It is probably futile to contact the person, and you're likely to better off without them. See, ghosting at that point when it's like the beginning of what could be a relationship, that doesn't bother me. If the relationship's duration was for a longer period, perhaps months, a message or email may be warranted. Be direct and ask for honesty. Does a ghoster reappear sometimes? They do sometimes reappear. Perhaps the person might send you a message through mutual friends or pop up online through likes and nudges. Yeah, y'all. Y'all are always good for being there when it's needed most, Stella. Um, Sometimes some even send apologetic texts, emails, or even voice messages. You might consider listening to what the person has to say, as it takes some courage on the ghoster's part to apologize. However, you must be emotionally aware and figure out whether they are being genuine and not just bored. How do I heal from being ghosted? The important thing to remember, no one can make you feel low self worth unless you allow it. That has always been one of my personal biggest issues. My my I have been told by my counselor. I've been going to counseling for the past year and just recently had my last session. Yeah, yeah. I've actually never. Hey, Kaiser. What's up? Thanks. Getting ready for your show? That seems like a Elite Dangerous. That seems like an interesting game. I might need to check it out. I'll be over. I'll now send this group over to your show when I'm done in a little bit. I just needed to get on here. Yeah, it's a balance. It depends on the person. Yeah, I need. I'll check to see if my computer can actually run it. I've been playing Star Trek Online again, but that's getting off the point here. But plus it is totally fine to feel hurt. However, extended period of crappy feelings may not be warranted, especially if the time with your ghoster. Yeah, that's. See, I have. Yeah. Instead, make time for self care, eat right, sleep right, stay physically active, see friends. If you need help, contact a therapist. And I have been in the on past streams very adamant about my mental health journey. And it's also been a sore spot. I was a handful as a kid. I had learning issues that made school hard. I was bullied quite a bit, as I've shared in the past. I spent my middle school years on, well, no, not just my middle school years, elementary and middle school, on. I've been going to therapy through this vocational rehab, and I don't think they're gonna help. They're gonna be able to willing to pay for anymore. So I'm working with my therapist to see if there's any way that I can pay out of pocket maybe once a month. Because I know there's a problem up here. I know there's a problem in my head, and I'm trying to figure out what it is. Here's the thing about ghosting people. They who ghost know what they they are doing wrong. At least people like me know it's out there so they can find it and know they did wrong. Yeah, it's wrong and it's simple. It's easy. It's a way for them to get past the hard work that comes with relationships. Here's an interesting question. This last question is interesting. In regards to what you're saying, Shani. Oh God, names are hard. Sometimes disappearing is necessary. If this person starts to make you feel at all uncomfortable, I should have gotten a drink. You will have to weigh your decisions or vanish. Perhaps the person shows anger that feels dangerous or unsafe. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes that's what it takes. Um, or the person does not appear to have boundaries, such as contacting someone else you dated, looking for information, or the person may start showing dark traits of manipulation, lying, and other forms of deceit. Yeah, um, yeah, that's when it starts getting into the creepy stalker territory. This, yeah, this right here. Let's see. Why is it easy for some people to disappear? This goes back to what I was saying earlier. The desire to avoid discomfort can apply to a wider range of situations. After flirting for a while, a man or woman may disappear rather than admit they lost interest. Someone who feels mistreated by a friend might stop responding rather than contact them. A teenager who feels frustrated by a minimum wage job might spontaneously stop showing up to work instead of giving notice. I've always, anytime I've had to quit a job, I have had jobs where I've had managers really abuse me, coworkers really treat me like crap. And you know what? I thought, this was at a grocery store job, bagging groceries, and I'm thinking like, this is not. This was like an early. This was 2007. I'm like, yeah, this ain't worth it. One, this job cost me my relationship with my best friend. So I'm like, I'm giving my 2 weeks in. And you know what? I worked 2 weeks, and as long as they had me on the schedule for that 2 weeks, because I feel that's only fair to them. I don't like leaving people in lurches like that, because I've seen other people just um other coworkers just disappear, just they they ghost their employers, and I see the chaos, for the management as well as us coworkers who are having to pick up the slack. So if I quit a job, I'm going to give you my 2 weeks. And I had a girlfriend once who gave them worked at a daycare, gave them her 2 weeks, and they just stopped for that whole 2 weeks. They didn't bother putting her on the on the schedule, and that really hurt her. You know, she felt that they kind of betrayed her. She thought she was doing right, but she still felt hurt because she thought she had friends, and that's what some people need to realize. Sometimes your coworkers aren't your friends; they're just your coworkers. Uh, why do people think ghosting is acceptable? Many cultures promote the idea of a soulmate or destiny beliefs. Oh, this is a train of thought I never thought of. As evident in the classic Hollywood rom-com. Seeking the one and only partner for life is a fixed idea of how a relationship should work. And it gives people the license to disappear from the face of the earth when a relationship is not up to their ideal. When a person does something for true love and what is their destiny, then it is okay to leave. I had a girlfriend like that when I was fresh out of high school. We dated for about 10 months, if I remember right. And once that honeymoon phase stopped, every relationship has that honeymoon phase where like, oh, you it's before you still have that person on a pedestal. You don't see their faults yet. And you're really not having to work at the relationship. And about a week before, I felt that something was off. So I started trying to work at the relationship. She didn't want to. She just said, I can't do this anymore. And ended it. It hurt. It sucked. But looking back, thank God it ended. It's like what's that old Garth Brooks song? Thank God for Unanswered Prayers, where he and his wife were at the high school football game and they ran into his ex-girlfriend. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And you would hope that that person, when they see and they realize, when they know they were in the wrong, they come to that point where, okay, that question that needs to be answered: do I want to work at this relationship or do I want to end it? She did not want to work at it. And I had a friend, we had a mutual friend later on. She told me that y'all spent too much time together. Oh, you're good. You're good. That's quite right. But I think rom-coms are just as detrimental to a relationship as pornography sometimes. They both give extreme ends of the spectrum uh wrong views of how a relationship should be. And it we need to you need to work on a relationship. My grandmother told my mom when her and my dad got engaged, and my parents they've been married for almost 50 years. Out of Yeah, and that's why you have to lukewarm doesn't work. You need to work on it. When it comes to friendships and relationships, I'm either there for you or I'm not. There's no in between. It's like the Force. Do or Yoda, do or do not. There is no try. I'm in it because I know what it's like to be kicked to the side. Like I was saying earlier, I know how that feeling of loneliness, and I try not to be. I had a girlfriend about 10 years ago who she loved getting prettied up. She loved wearing makeup. We'd go out to dinner every Friday or Saturday. I thought it was going great. I had a friend who was selling Mary Kay Cosmetics. We had a friend actually selling Mary Kay Cosmetics for around Christmas time, around this time that year, and I said to her, I said, I don't know anything about makeup. Here's my budget. Have at it. And she made this like it was 4 or 5 stack box Christmas tree, and I try when I'm looking at when I'm trying to think of gifts for people, I try to think of what they would enjoy the most. Um, I did finally figure out what to get my yeah, that's my biggest issue. I tend to find my happiness in making other people happy, and that doesn't work sometimes. Lady Autumn, that's fine. This was very last minute impromptu, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. This is very impromptu. I just needed to get on and kind of just, like I said, it was screaming to the void, and as Stella said earlier, the void has answered back, and it couldn't be at a better time. Um, this past week, with the losses our community has or the loss our community suffered, it hit me harder than I thought it would. Um, I was when I found out about Jeff, I was in the middle. No, I wasn't in the middle. We were starting class. I get a notification on my phone, and I looked at it. I'm like, "Oh my god!" And I said it a little louder than I thought to, because the kid looked at me like, "Mister Sir, what's oh my god?" I said, "Nothing, nothing, nothing." Um, but you know, we lost the law rack. That's been hard for a lot of people. The few times I got to talk to Jeff were so much fun. He was such a good guy, and I'd watch his streams, and he was so good at yeah. Um, why is my Siri talking? I wasn't talking to you, Siri. My phone just went off. Siri's listening. She's eavesdropping on me, guys. The government's eavesdropping on me. I love my government overlords. Yeah, because Jacob, what's up? I'm in my 60s, honey. I am working on it. We're not supposed to come with all instructions in the book installed. It's just a lesson we got to practice until we got it. Yeah, and those lessons come easier for some than others. Um, my thing is my issues up in my head are I have trouble recognizing people's emotions. I have trouble reading people. It's really been a hindrance in my acting. Um, hey, no worries, Jacob. This was very last minute, spur of the moment. I had planned on. I hadn't planned on streaming. Just my depression has been really bad. I've had some personal issues outside of in the real world sprung on me the past week and a half. And then with Jeff passing away, um, but Jeff, I think Jeff is one of the good ones he'll be remembered, for his work in educating us. And I'm trying to decide. I want to go back and get my bachelor's, and Jeff, Nick, and a couple of the others in law too have they've kind of drawn back the curtain on the law in a way that maybe I can do it in some way or some aspect or another. Maybe this little ADD fat kid from Florida could help people in the law, like, and it's uh, yeah, yeah, that's the gift he's left us. He's left us a great community with a lot of great memories of him. He's the reason he, Ozzy, and Flux are the reason I decided to try my hand at a Lego stream last or Saturday was a week ago. Um, I spent about it's about 3 hours. I built the a bit Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter, and it was one of the most fun I had on stream. It was either that or the N1 Rat Rod from Mandalorian, but I'm like, no, this one holds special meaning for me because my dad. He was always a voice of calm and understanding and education in a way that even the dumbest of us, like me, could understand it. Um, and he was so welcoming when you did get to talk to him. He he had time for so many of us, and he was funny, and he was. I wish I could have met him in person and shared a beer with him. He was that kind of guy that I think you could sit down with him, have a beer, and talk about anything. Castro, we're just reminiscing about the Lorax and just remembering a great guy. And I watched the Lorax. I think it was Saturday, and I couldn't unsee him. Every time the Lorax was on, I would see Jeff's face in that big bushy mustache and just laugh at the line, I am the Lorax and I speak for the fees. Nice and chilly down here. We got a chilly 40 degrees down here. Actually, how cold is it right now? 50. Turn your head and cough. But yeah, it's oh, and nah, that made it funnier, Shelly. Autocorrect makes it funnier sometimes. I figured out what to get my niece. I got my niece the board game Ticket to Ride, Shelly. I was talking about in your chat about a couple of weeks ago, and I couldn't figure it out. I saw that it's one of my favorite board games ever. She just learned her states a few weeks ago in school, and so I'm thinking, oh, this game will be perfect for her, and it's going to be so much fun. Yeah, that's one thing I like about living on the coast. I don't have to worry about snow. Last time it snowed here in my town, it was 88. I was 1 year old, 1 or 2 years old, and everything shut. Hey, Nebraska might have some nice lakes with some waterfront property. Just saying, but it's it was certainly a blow. It seems like um a lot of things are changing, whether you like it or not. I know. I'm just trying to make it to spin it a little bit. I know. Jacob, that's where that song was where my mind first went. God, George Strait. I love that classic country. But okay, next little drop thing. Does technology encourage ghosting? Technology may contribute to the tendency to ghost. Research suggests that the high volume of petrol words are hard. My fat lips are just blah blah blah. Research suggests that the high volume of potential prospects on dating apps may make each individual person more disposable. Just swipe right. Another attitude that may foster ghosting is believing in destiny. One study found that people who believe in relationship destiny. Ugh. I read that in his voice, Jacob. I actually saw him in person when I was in high school once, and it was because I was on a church trip to Nashville. We were staying at this university. I can't remember the university. It's in Nashville. And he was a big supporter of the college, of the university. And he got in a car wreck with two of our camp counselors. And we drove by, and there he was standing on the side of the road. Like, holy cow, it's George Strait. But one study found that people who believe in relationship destiny, that everyone has a soulmate wanting to sweep them off their feet, were much more likely to believe that ghosting was acceptable. Do ghosters suffer from cognitive dissonance? That's an interesting question. Let's see what it says. People who ghost must conduct a degree of emotional gymnastics. In cognitive dissonance, a person's action may be inconsistent with their beliefs and values. They must therefore convince themselves that their actions are right and just. They also convince themselves that the other person who prefer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it was Belmont. Yeah, we would stay at the university, eat, and we would go out into the community and do different kind of missions work, either like go to summer like Boys and Girls Club or daycares, or go to like clean up people's houses and stuff like that. Thank you. It was Belmont. You so smart, Lady Awesome guy. So smart. They also convince themselves that the other person would prefer to avoid a tangled and difficult conversation as well. Otherwise, feelings of guilt and cowardice may plague them. Yeah, I've always felt like, even when I was young, just tell me you don't want to hang out. As a kid, if just tell me, I'd rather have my friends have told me they want that. Oh, we don't want to hang out with you. We're gonna go do something else. It may suck for a little while, but I'd have more respect for them than just disappearing. What is orbiting and breadcrumbing? Offshoots of ghosting behavior, orbiting and breadcrumbing refer to leading you on. Also, after someone breaks off relations, they carry on engaging with you by orbiting. This often happens through interaction via social media, leaving a like or comment or poke, for example, without speaking to the person beyond that. Breadcrumbing is related to orbiting. The person may send frequent communications, also in the form of comments and likes online. However, all the contact never amounts to anything real. These confusing situations can instill a sense of false hope for the relationship. It can happen at yeah, it is more likely to happen at the beginning of a relationship, but it also can happen can happen at any time. I would say more so it's that the mental gymnastics. I think this I think the mental gymnastics is different levels and different points in the relationship. I've been ghosted by people I've known for months, years. Like uh, I was talking about my first job at a grocery store. I worked with my best friend. I will say for the rest of my life, never, never work with your best friend. I've known this guy since second grade, so you're looking at 93, 94 for me. He worked at this grocery store and said, "Hey," knew I was looking for a job. "Hey, come on, we're hiring." I told the manager, "Hey, I'm so and so's friend," and they hired me on the spot. Just not having that break sometimes in the friendship caused problems for us, and he just cut me out. He just he I didn't even go to his wedding a few months later just because the relationship was so rocky. But after a while, we reconnected after a few years. He lives up in Virginia now. I'm still at our hometown in Florida. I can message him right now on Facebook and we'll talk like it was nothing. But I did wrong and he did wrong. So we both know I was willing to move on with the friendship. I think he needed to take a break. Yeah, it's different. I think depending on the job. This was we bagged groceries. We had an abusive manager. We had abusive customers. It wasn't the best situation for either one of us. He was trying to get in the military. He ended up being able to enlist. Um, it's different for everyone, Jacob. But from my personal experience, I won't work with a best friend again. So what's caspering? I think that's it. I'm gonna end this topic with what is caspering. Caspering is friendly ghosting, named after the friendly ghost Casper. Duh. The simple form of ending contact is not ghosting per se, but rather a firm, direct statement that conveys you will not be seeing the person again. It can be either short and sweet, as in "Thank you for taking taking time to meet. I hope everything works out well for you. Bye." It doesn't have to be so hard. See, I don't think that's ghosting at all, or even caspering. That's just being honest upfront. I would prefer that. I honestly would prefer a word that's like, "Hey, thanks, but I don't think this is going to work." Be upfront with me. Yeah, um, that sucks. I'm trying to get past this myself, but because honestly, God, you allergic to small talk, Shelly? See, yeah, I like having conversations. I don't like, oh, how's the weather? Um, there's a young lady at school at the job she's another teacher. Yeah, it can be. I remember an episode of Star Trek Next Generation. It was so funny. Data was always trying to be more human in ways. He writes a small talk subroutine, gets in the turbo lift, and it's Captain Picard. And Picard's just standing there thinking. He's got stuff on his mind. He's the captain. And Data's like, "Oh, the weather is nice today, sir." And he's like, "What? Huh? What'd you say?" And he explained, "Oh, I created this subroutine." And Picard looks at him and is like, "It needs work." You just reminded me of that, Shelly. Sorry. Nerd ADD. I have people I love dearly that were friends. I've seen their fingers typed lies, and now friend goes. I worry about them, but I'm not serving myself as a meal for all the meat. Yeah, I've told people I've had people hurt me in relationships and friendships in the past, and I've said to them, I'm done going out of my way for you. I had a girlfriend my senior year, took her to prom, and this was before social media. This was before cell phones. This back in 2006, and the first iPhone came out 2007, 2008. I don't know off the top of my head, but social media was not a big thing yet. We had instant messenger. MySpace was just becoming a thing. So we went our separate ways, and we reconnected a few years later because my grandmother was in the hospital she worked at in the cafeteria. She was in a very abusive relationship, and she asked for my help to get out. See, I asked my prom date out the day before, so because I'm not good at talking to girls, to women. I'm not. I'm having this problem now because there's a woman at work. She's one of the other teachers aide, ISS. She's the ISS teacher, and I've I think I've caught her looking at me, and I tried to I try to start conversation, but like I said, I'm no good at talking to women. Like she's vented to me about hard days, and um will you be out in like a undescriptive van, and I'll have an earpiece in my ear and you'll be telling me what to say, Jacob? Shelly. I didn't catch that. But I Facebook messaged her Saturday because I tried Friday to ask for her number at school, but someone was Lex. What's up, Lex? The trick to talking to girls and pretending they are just real people. Yeah. Like I said, I have problems like reading people's emotions. But about his fair play, yes. But every time I tried to ask for her number, someone else was around. I'm like, no, I can't do that. No, dang it, damn it, can't ask now. Fuck. That kind of nerves would take over. But I was able to message her on Facebook and ask, and she gave me her number. She's like, but I don't text all that much. So like, oh, okay, we can just chat on Facebook. So I've sent her questions and stuff, but I'm kind of backing off a little bit so not to become creepy. Like, how do you? I have problems like subtle and shy, Shelly, are two words that are not in your vocabulary. They are not in your persona. They are not even in your dictionary. You are one of the most outgoing, outspoken person I've ever met. And you know what? I like that. I wish I could be like that sometimes. It's refreshing to have people who are outspoken. Oh, like, they are not in your in your DNA. But I find it hard to balance. Like, do I coming on too strong and being creepy, or not coming on strong enough and coming across as uninterested? Because no, not at all. But I'm hoping something like comes of it. I guess you could say. I don't. I don't know. But love you, Shelly. You know I do. Oh, Shelly, you're awesome. You know that. You know I think you're awesome. I like that. I like, and it's all not everyone can say that. Not everyone has to. Some people have to put on this mask, like Ben Stein and Jim Carrey's The Mask. Everyone wears a mask. He's talking about a psychological mask. Y'all are just putting songs in my head over and over again on this stream. But this this woman, she's strong. She's outspoken. She one of the best. I know. God, this is gonna sound so fucking cheesy when I say it. One of the best parts of my day is that like 10-15 minutes where there might be a chance of me running into her, because she's in the ISS room and I'm all over the school the rest of the day. Um, I think asking a girl out's a skill that men have forgotten, or have forgotten how to do. That might be a topic for another stream. Hey, always thinking. But it's gonna be interesting to see where this goes. But I want to see something. How do um, sorry, I wanted to see something real quick. How do you hmm. Yeah, and that goes to back to my um workplace issues I had with my friend back in the day. That's kind of one thing that's been in the back of my mind. But yeah, uh, yeah, I'm struggling with that too, Shelly. That's a thing to. But it's gonna be a new year. I am this this job is stressful but satisfying. I've found a place where I have a support system more so than I've had in other jobs. I'm I feel like I'm doing good work. Um so I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic about the upcoming months. I don't know. It wasn't that long ago that workplace romances were the third leading reason for marriage. Marriages. Same with working with friends. It's not quite a one size fit all, but that's just. And you're right. A lot of this that I've been talking about tonight, I've been speaking about my own personal experiences. I know everyone has their different lives, their different worlds. Um, I love that. I've shared this before. I love the scene of in the Odyssey, the miniseries Odyssey. When Odysseus has returned to Ithaca, and he's confronting the suitors and sentencing to the death. One of them asks us, "What crimes are we guilty of?" Yeah, that's the reason I'm kind of treading a little more cautiously. I remember one time I worked at a grocery store and I got to be, I thought, with good friends with a coworker, and it's her last day. Yes, that's why I'm being cautious. But this young lady who I worked with, she was another cashier. She she's leaving on her last day, and I give her my number. Hey, text me. We keep in touch. She goes to our manager, and my manager's like, "Hey, that could get you in trouble." I said, "What?" I gave my friend my phone number. She then a few months later messaged me. It's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I know you were just trying to be friends." Yeah, yeah. That's why I'm. You definitely got to be careful, and that's why I know I'm treading on a tightrope that could snap. So, um, but there were a couple other um there's two other faculty members. One was actually a woman who turns out we graduated from the same high school together, same year. We just didn't know each other, different social groups. Of course, I was only at the high school a year and a half before we graduated. She suggested that I was always joked that I was the reason that we had to take sexual harassment training every year. Like, I don't need training. I don't need training. I know how to do it quite well. We never had that problem, or at least haven't had any problems with that I know of. We had a couple teachers like get married, like they met through work and they ended up getting married and stuff. But touche, and not necessarily that I believe people are wildly good, but on the other hand, I'm always going to root for romance when I'm kind of a softie that way. Yeah, I root for the underdog. Underdog story is good. You always want Prince Charming to sweep the princess off her feet. But I always go in. You're, we all know who's in charge of those schools, Shelly. That school, Shelly. We all know you were the big boss. Well, he knew it's fun when he saw it, I guess, Shelly. But I have a teacher that, or a principal, I think that's good, that's willing to allow me to be a part of him building a better school. And hey, boobies always help with a man's depression. Boobies are proof that men can multitask because there's two of them. sometimes 3. But it's like Rodney Carrington, like always said, boobs are like nature's stress balls. But I'm hoping. I'm just hoping, I guess you could say. Um, it's been a rough time. It's always rough for me around Christmas. That's a special talent there, Shelley. People need to laugh, and I supply the fun. Not everyone can supply the fun like that. That's something special. I hope you realize that. But why would they complain in the hopes and make it stop? But um, my depression just the past month has been really bad. That's why I haven't been reviewing any TVs or movies. Um, see, and that's people can be open around you, can be goofy, and not feel like they're being judged. I think I, that's how I feel about dealing with you, girl. You're awesome, and you know it. I hope you know. I hope you realize how important you are to this community, Shelley. But I I needed to get on here, I'm just I I'm tired. I feel stuck. Less stuck than I was a few months ago. John, what's up? Just a little impromptu stream. Um, best harassment video I ever saw was an old SNL skit with Tom Brady. Tom Brady could say and do anything he wanted, but when the creepy guy even looked at a woman or said hi, they screamed. Exactly. I'll present this question again because I know some people have come in since probably I answered. Why is it some people who are allowed to share their views, share their beliefs, to say what they want, but other people, not just guys, other people are, as I was told, meant to go about with their heads down, mouth shut, and feel and do what they're told. That's the thing I can't get an answer from people because they don't see they're doing it to me. They don't see how they're putting me down and they're trying to keep me down, man. I know that sounds corny, but it feels that way. It I don't know if it's how I look. I don't know if it's I think I see it this way. I'm an actor. I do acting. I'm not I don't I'm hoping to get back on stage and there's a show that going to be auditioning at a local community theater, so I'm hoping to get back on stage, but I'm the kind of actor who if there's not a part specifically for me, I won't get cast. I won't play Gaston or the hero, the heroic looking person character. I'll play LeFou before I play Gaston. You know, I've shown my face. I'm short. Nothing I can do about it. Fat, working on that. Bald, nothing I can do about that until I get money and get hair plugs or something. I don't know. But we're held, men and women are held to standards that they have no control over. You know, height, skin color, stuff like that. You should be in. You sound to be in a better place, to be fair, from last we spoke. And I'm glad you got someone who's caught your eye. I'll be cheering. I need all the cheering I can get. And it's up and down, John, Jacob. It's up and down. But it's I see that it's like I see that light at the end of the tunnel, and sometimes it just doesn't. It just seems to be going further and further back. You know what I mean? And but I'm working on it. I'm hoping to continue with therapy. Just waiting to hear back from the people. I'm trying to better myself, trying to better my channel. Trying different things. You know, the Lego stream was a experiment. It worked sometimes. You know, I think too that I have an iPhone X, which is I think 5, 6, 7 generations ago. So it was a little difficult, and my tripod is being held together with duct tape now. But it was fun. I think it was the longest solo stream I ever did. I did I think, Shelly, how long was one of our streams? Like 11, 12 hours, I think. That was the longest stream I ever did. Lost my voice the next day. Woke up the next day without a voice. But yeah, this stream was 3.5 hours. Legos have always relaxed me building something and creating something. That's why I'm a theater nerd. If I wasn't a theater nerd, I'd be addicted to an addict probably. But it was something me and my dad did every Christmas and birthday. I'd get a Lego set. It's sometimes it's not even looks or money, it's position. It's favoritism. Like with my dad, my brother was always the favorite because he did sports. All through middle school and up to high school, he did sports, which my dad was able to relate to a lot more than my music and theater and stuff. But and I've tried to connect with him, and he doesn't seem to want to anymore. I'm not in the position in life that he was in at my age due to the fact that I wasn't able to join the military like he was. He was able to use his GI benefits to join the career that he wanted, while my need kept me out of the military. And I pulled the Steve Rogers thing. I went to every doctor and recruiter I could think of. One of them was a personal friend who told me no, he could not, in good conscience, sign off on my medical release. And in that one no, my entire life was changed forever. My entire plans were gone in an instant. But that no also allowed me down a path where I found my passion in the arts, my life. Just I found my life. Be good or bad, it's still my life. So I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you all for letting me vent and listening and it's always taken me a little. I've always had to work harder than everyone else in anything I've done. But thank you all for being here. I know this is very impromptu, very last minute. I'm going to share the link to excuse me. Gotta get meter. Kaiser, he's doing a great stream, a fun gaming stream called Elite Dangerous. So here I'm gonna share this. Go give him a like. Tell him it's a nerd raid. Thank you all. I love you all. I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. I'll be trying to stream Friday because the 26th, Thursday, I have to go get a deep teeth cleaning. So I will be numb and sore all day. So I'll probably be sleeping most of the day then. Merry Christmas, everybody. Yeah, words to live by. Yeah, thanks, Shani. Come back. Come join us sometime when I'm doing a review stream or another Lego stream. Love to have you in the chat. So, like I always say, find your passion and nerd out about it. I'm the nerd of the outfit. Love you guys. I'm gone.
Lost in space, I found my beliefs. Goodness, I was so silent to my way. Binary code run through my veins. Every beat and beat, I feel no pain. Signing off, it's time to go. Goodbye, my nerdy friends, see you later, I know. Through the stars, we've shared this ride. But now it's time to say goodbye, farewell, with pride.